We gave them all that money and we didn't spend it on no line. I mean, that's what you get.
Because they found the car trashed.
I caught him with a right hook. I get the 8 count.
For me, I don't see how you can sit there with a straight face and say that. Swing at the World family. We are back one more again. Been a crazy week. As usual, I tell you all the time, if you've been walking around with a bloody lip because the world been rough on you, take a at the world, hit that motherfucker back. A lot of craziness going on. Just the same stuff weekly. And we're always going to start it out with the conflict between Israel and Palestine. We have to start it out with that because, I mean, this could lead to world war.
It's the biggest thing right now.
Yeah.
For the past couple of months, basically.
And I made this remark in the last episode. I remember when the Ukraine and Russia was beefing. I started to get scared, like, yo, this could lead to world war.
And then you got Israel and Palestine, they come in.
And we're not even hearing about Russia and the Ukraine anymore because it's little compared to this, I guess. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Turns out that Colombia has said that they're going to indict him for war crimes.
Colombia said that?
Colombia. Now,
since when are they involved?
Okay, so I know you guys may not get how some of that UN world stuff works, but basically it's like this. If another country in the world observes that you're committing war crimes,
so they file a report, basically.
I
That's
guess
what we were going to do with Hitler.
Like,
right.
We weren't going to kill him or whatever, right? We were
Well,
trying
no.
to try him.
Well, we tried a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah, there was a doctor, right? One of the
Right.
doctors. Yeah, there was a bunch
You
of
guys may not remember, but the Nuremberg trials
I remember
after
that.
World War II, there was a boatload of Nazis that got put on trial for war
They
crimes.
got that. They're still getting them today, actually.
Ain't that crazy?
that's crazy.
Well, you guys know, and I'm going to get a little off subject, but we'll get back on. Now, I'm going to blow y'all's mind with this shit. Right after World War II, Argentina, for whatever reason, came out and said, hey, Nazis, come on down here, you're safe. Because the Nazis were in deep shit. They were fleeing. There was Nazis pretending to be regular people, just trying to escape, because they knew they were going to be put on trial. Argentina has this huge population of criminal Nazis down there, right? Well, the one major Nazi doctor, Joseph Mengele, this guy was notorious for experiments on children, experiments on people.
Was that the one with the twins?
Yeah.
I remember the twin. They went and hid in the bunker or something.
That's right. Now listen, twins is where I was going with this. Mengele goes down to Argentina, right? Suddenly, this little town in Argentina where he's living has the biggest population of twins of anywhere on earth. He started experimenting down there. He started doing, fertilization, stuff like the same shit that he was doing over in Nazi Germany. If you look it up, that little town that he lived in, now, there's some people that dispute that he was actually there, but he was there.
Yeah, he was there.
There's a lot of proof that he was there.
What's sick is that he got away too.
Yeah.
I don't think he didn't get tried, right? He lived.
He got away. He lived his
died.
life.
That's terrible.
Well, listen, there's another doctor, and I'll forget his name, but he was with the Japanese medical unit in World War II, Unit 737. They did a lot of god-awful experiments. I mean, folks, listen. I warn you, there's real videos of this. Real pictures of this. Don't look them up. Don't look them up. I made the mistake years ago of looking the pictures up, and it was the most. I'm going to just describe one. There was a Russian female soldier. And I don't know why it bothered me so much more that she was a female. A Russian female soldier got captured by the Japanese. They send her to Unit 737. They take her in for medical experimentation. Now, a lot of their experimentation was vivisection with no anesthesia. Do we know what vivisection is?
Well, I know it involves a lot of cutting.
Cutting open, cutting off.
A lot of slicing and dicing.
So these animals, this picture, and you can easily find this on Google, has this young Russian soldier cut to pieces. I'm talking about, they started working on her while she was alive. They gave her no anesthesia. They cut her to pieces, pulled her insides out, and then there's this team of doctors standing around her, posing for a picture, smiling, like they had just cured cancer. And that's just one picture. There's a lot worse, okay? But again, the doctor that headed that unit got away, actually lived to be wealthy and revered in Japan. How does that happen? Mengele and him got away. Now,
That shit wouldn't fly over here.
well, that's one of the reasons I love, I think it's called the Mossad unit. Don't quote me, but it's a Jewish unit that was hunting down these ex-Nazis, tracking them down. And, you know, as far as Japan goes, they did those experiments on a lot of Chinese people. Japan invaded China. And right now, China still has harsh feelings toward Japan for what they did. Which brings me back to Israel-Palestine and what I said last episode. Even if there's a ceasefire tomorrow, Israel is fucked up. Because these people who have had children killed, etc., are never going to get over it. So this prime minister of Israel is getting indicted by one country. And there's a lot of experts that think that's not going to be the only one. They think there's going to be a rush. Now, guess what? We got Joe Biden standing beside Israel saying they're doing the right thing. And I honestly, folks, for me, I don't see how you can sit there with a straight face and say that. But these other countries, there was like some vote, and I think it was like 170 countries to like 4. US, Israel, and like 2 others voted against it. The other 170 countries said this shit needs to stop. I ask y'all every episode, where do you think we're going? We're going to World War III?
Getting close.
Yeah, basically.
You're getting close.
It's close.
I mean,
Well, you know, when we come out, when our leader comes out and says the stuff that he's saying,
yeah.
he should have just tried to stay as neutral as possible.
You heard what he said about the ceasefire?
Well,
What did he say?
Look, well, it was pretty simple. They came up, a reporter came up and said, Mr. Biden, are you seeing the numerous children that have been killed in these bombing raids? Can we look forward to a ceasefire? He said, absolutely not, and walked away.
What are the chances of a Gaza ceasefire? None. No possibility.
I mean, this is who's representing America.
where is his advisors?
Exactly.
Where are the people that are supposed to be on camera doing this for him?
Look,
That man needed. Hey, somebody quit letting him on
Might
camera,
get this
man.
lunatic.
I'm going to say this, folks. I'll throw my political orientation out there. I am a liberal. I know a lot of people, you know, there's people that don't like that. That's cool. I wanted Biden in office initially, and for reasons that I'm not going to go into. But I can tell you this, Biden was a fucking mistake. This man is a dumbass. I don't think half the time he knows his name. And that's just real.
They should have let Kanye win.
I think we'd
Right?
have had more stability.
I mean,
Come on.
but one thing I'll say is about Trump is he would be roasting their ass right now.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
we gotta
look,
let him back on there just to send the verbal smackdown to him real quick.
I'll say this. I am a hardcore Trump hater. I've been very outspoken toward Trump. I've argued with many people against Trump. But I think Trump, in this scenario,
Would be a better option.
a much better option.
Well, I'll say when it comes to war, he does his thing. Like,
Yeah, he don't fuck around
he
with
gets
that.
down.
And that's a good thing. So, you know, listen, as always, shout out to the people of Palestine. You know, shout out to anybody who's dying, but I do want to say last thing. And this one right here, y'all. And Nate, I hope you can find this video and put it in. There's a video, Israel soldiers on a beach. Israeli soldiers on a beach in Palestine. And one of them comes up and he's smiling. He's like, I'm safe. I'm happy. We have conquered Palestine. And now we're going to go conquer the rest of Palestine. You just had to see the video. This was never about Hamas. They wanted to conquer Palestine. They want the West Bank. They want all of that. It's a property grab. That's it. Have you guys heard about, now I'm going to forget the name, but it's where Israelis go and just claim houses from Palestinians. It's crazy. Look, there's one. I've talked about this
What,
before.
they just go boot them out their house?
Yeah, there was a little old lady. You gotta try to find this vid. Little old lady, she was like 100. These Israeli citizens come in and say, this is our house now. Her family had built the house 100 years before that. She had lived in it her whole life. They said, this is our house now. She was trying to swat them with a broom, like, no, leave me alone. And she was crying, and they just took her out.
She probably lived there her whole life and never
She did.
seen anything like that before.
That's not one isolated incident. Look up Israeli land grabs. If you think I'm BSing y'all, it's disgusting.
And think about it. If the U.S. starts a draft, I gotta fight for that. We all gotta fight for that for some reason.
Well, I'll tell you.
Well, they're gonna take you
they gonna
youngins
force you.
first. You know, I'm almost 30, so they're gonna leave me alone.
Either I gotta go or I'm going to jail.
You know, this opened up another, what my son just said, both of my sons, this opened up another can of worms I want to talk about. Back during the Vietnam War, you heard all these stories about young kids who were drafted running to Canada and running to Mexico and leaving the country. And there was people calling them cowards and this and that, right? And a lot of the parents of these kids were helping them run to other countries. And I wasn't alive then, so I didn't really understood it, but older family members said, son, nobody wanted to go over there and kill poor North Vietnamese, you know, because America wanted a war. Fast forward, I couldn't imagine letting my sons go over there and fucking kill Palestinians for an Israeli land grab. Couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Mark that down. Won't do it. There's got to come a point, you know, you guys heard of what Muhammad Ali, when he got drafted.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's called conscientious objection. And what that means is, I'm not afraid to fight. I don't like what we're fighting for. I think it's against my beliefs and against my religion. And I agree. A human should be able to make that decision. You shouldn't be forced to fight for something that you find despicable.
The draft should only be if we're in danger. You know, if we
I
have,
agree.
Exactly.
if we have something to really, because I'm fine with that. Like, I'll strap up, you know, but
Same.
if it's just to go over there to do the wrong thing, I'm not for it.
Well, let's hope that it comes to some kind of resolution, guys. It's madness what we're seeing right now. I don't know if you guys seen Tesla's new
I
CyberTruck.
just saw that.
That thing trash. You know, they shot it with an AK.
I seen that.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. It seemed like it resisted the AK fine.
Well, I seen
Why do you
another
feel it's trash?
I seen this video where, you know how they drive them up on the grass and stuff to park them in the dealerships.
Yeah.
They had trouble doing that. They
You're
had to,
shitting me.
Yeah, they had to take a board and make a ramp for it to actually get
This
up on
is
the...
the future.
Yeah.
What?
This
So,
is the
and I
future.
swear on everything, I'm gonna put the video on here for everybody to see, but they had a hell of a time getting up there.
Okay. So,
I don't
and
know
this
if you see
vehicle
that.
costs. Does
A
anybody
lot.
know the price on it?
A lot
You
of
know,
money.
people have already they pre-ordered it like years ago or something like that, and then they've been waiting for years to get this truck.
Well, let me just start by saying it looks like an ice cube with wheels. Okay. It's to me, I wouldn't want it.
You don't have to force me to buy that.
Yeah. You know, give me a Dodge.
Well,
or
unless I'm
something.
going to war, I guess.
Well, yeah,
At
but
least then I know I'm not gonna get shot up.
now Tesla will sue you for $50,000 if you try to resell your Cybertruck in the first year.
What? Just because I'm flipping cars, you gonna make me lose my money?
That just
It's crazy, you know, because a lot of people don't read the agreements, and when they pre-ordered those trucks and signed all that paperwork and stuff, it's probably
Everybody just try to like
I-
quickly sign it.
I just
Yeah,
don't understand how they can legally tell you you're not allowed to sell something that you fucking bought.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
sign it, they might be able to.
I'll just say this, you know, for me, the dude who owns what's old boy's name?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Look, a lot of people don't like him. I'm not a huge fan. The stuff he's doing with Twitter is pretty fucking hilarious. But I won't sit here and lie and say the dude hasn't came up with some good creations and some good work.
I know a lot of celebrities that don't do anything with their money. You know, at least he's out here, you know, he's doing the
He's
car
out here
thing.
chasing a bag.
Yeah, he's out, you know, he's doing the rockets and stuff, right? You know, and
He
everything.
did SpaceX.
Well, he's tried repeatedly to just, you know, at least expand and grow build new things, innovate. Again, I'm gonna say this. I think what he's doing with Twitter is stupid. I mean, you cannot make a forum and say, well, y'all can just say whatever the fuck you want and it's all good. Jury selection has started on YNW Melly's murder trial due to a legal misstep by the state. Here's what happened. So they had picked a jury. And YNW Melly's lawyer struck the jury down. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but if we right now, we pick 12, okay? We pick 12. They do what's called juror polling. So you're talking to each juror, and we can say, no, we don't want this motherfucker. Yes, we want him. And
It's like a little draft.
that's exactly what it is.
That's
It's
wild.
like a draft.
His
But-
lawyer did that?
Somehow his lawyer got the whole jury
He gonna win.
struck down. This dude's the GOAT. Now,
He gonna win.
But it just seems like this trial is taking forever, in my opinion.
well, I mean, yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all know, but his first trial finishing in mistrial, I'm almost positive that it was something like 10 jurors to 2 for not guilty. Or something, or put it this way, don't let me get the line. I'm almost positive it was majority not guilty, which says something, okay? That says something. If homeboy, is sitting here already getting juries talking about he's not guilty, I think he's got a good shot. I don't see how though. Do y'all know anything about this case? Because I do.
I know
Yeah.
a good amount.
First of all of y'all listen to Melly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta make my playlist.
I know you said you like his music. You got him on your playlist.
I got like 2 songs. He had this one song.
So do y'all know about this case?
Yeah.
Do y'all know what happened?
Yeah.
It was a
Killed
double
2 of
murder,
his
wasn't it?
friends.
Do y'all think he did it? Seriously.
That's a hard question. I need more evidence.
I
don't have much.
Okay, fuck that. All right, don't tell me if you think he did it. Do you think they have enough evidence to prove he did?
No.
Okay.
It already he gonna win. You can already tell right now.
No, I feel
So-
like he's gonna get some.
It
type of
seems
time.
like if he gets
Yeah.
it sooner or later, he's
Well,
going
think
to
about the time served, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hit him with time
Yeah.
served. He'll
Yeah, he
already
does
be
have
out
a good
tomorrow.
bit.
He served enough time. Basically.
But now, guys, let me say this, and I don't know how much my sons. I should not know a lot about this, and hopefully don't know more than them, because I don't fuck with Melly. I'm joking. He's I don't
Hey,
care.
he said you're next.
But the Melly case. All right, for those that don't know, Melly is riding with three of his homeboys, right? Riding with 3 of his homeboys. The seating arrangement is a big point of contention. All right, they're still trying to determine who was sitting where. But here's what we know happened that nobody disputes. The one of the boys that lived, pulls into the ER with the other 2 boys in the back seat dead. And he says, we were just shot in a drive-by. Okay? All right? Follow me. So these boys are basically dead in the back seat. Almost immediately, the people at the hospital determined this didn't just happen because your wounds look a certain way.
Well, yeah, they could tell. Medical
They could tell.
professionals could tell, yeah.
So they're like, well, they were shot like an hour ago. That's first. They determined that. They're like, well, why? It's obvious these guys were shot a little longer. So he comes up with some cockamamie story about why it took him a while to get there. That's first. Then at some point, it's determined that Melly was in the car when it happened. But he actually lets Melly out of the car, tells him, get out of here. When the cops come to the hospital, they find out that Melly was in the car, and they're like, why the fuck didn't he stay there, come to the hospital, and answer questions? They're like, oh, well, he was upset he had to get his head together. That looks bad. Your homies get shot,
Yeah.
you get out of the car, you don't even go to the hospital. They had to track Melly down, okay? So then, what you got, and look, I don't give a fuck what they talk about police-wise. They say ballistic-wise that they determined that the gunshots didn't line up with what they were saying.
Yeah, I know that much about it. That they were saying that the trajectory of the bullets was...
Well, no, here's the fuckery. So Melly and them say it was a drive-by, right? Well, the cops are saying that Melly or somebody sat in the car and fired at the doors to make it look like somebody shot at them. But dumbass, if they really did do that, the cops can tell whether you shot from inside or the bullets came from outside.
The police and government can never get trajectories of bullets right at all.
No, well, no, and that's
bullet theory.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right, and that's why that bullet trajectory shit. I'm not gonna put too much.
Stupid, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
You shouldn't be able to tell that much though. The casings would be all the way over there, right?
You
the
should.
bullets.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have no casings. They didn't have no casings. But think about all of y'all have shot a gun before, right? Have you shot a gun? Okay. You knucklehead, you've shot one. Okay. Well, look, with a gun, all right. Let's just say you shoot a stop sign, right? You shoot a stop sign. Boom. When you shoot it, there's a little bubble on the back of it where the bullet comes out. The entry is smooth. Anybody knows that. So if he shot from inside the car, it's going to look totally different than if they shot from outside the car. That's basic, all right? Still, I'm not going to send somebody to life for that. But this case, or what we're talking about, the crime scene shit, reminds me of something, another case that you guys, it don't look nothing like or seem nothing like this, but I'm just talking about the crime scene shit. Darlie Routier. If you guys get a chance, I know you young men probably don't know who this is, but Darlie Routier, this was actually the year you were born, in the 90s. She was a little blonde-haired lady from a fairly wealthy marriage in a fairly wealthy community. I believe this was out in Oklahoma. Well, what happens is this. She calls 911. She says, somebody just stabbed my children, get over here quick. The story she tells the cops is that she woke up to somebody choking and stabbing her. She didn't get a good look at them. She runs, checks on her kids. Her kids are basically dead. They've been stabbed repeatedly. Immediately, the cops go to this shit that we were just talking about. There was a screen that was cut, supposedly to get into the house. But the cops say, no, the screen was cut from the inside. That was the first thing they claimed.
That'd be hard to determine, wouldn't it?
How the fuck would you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. Secondly, this kind of hurt her, but I want to get to why I would bet my soul she's not guilty. I think an innocent woman has sat in prison for decades now. But the second thing they used to convict her, there was a windowsill by that screen, and it had a layer of dust on it that was untouched. So they said, well, if somebody came through that window, that layer of dust would have been fucked with. It would have been, maybe, who fucking knows?
Did she have a stab wound?
That's what I'm getting ready to get to. Now listen. So she was stabbed in the throat deep. They claimed, that wasn't her only stab wound. She was stabbed several times. They claimed that she stabbed herself in the throat, barely missed her main artery, and she plotted that, right?
She must have had
she stabbed
extensive
herself.
knowledge.
You'd have to, do you know the balls you would have to do that? That's one. But
I mean,
second,
stabbed in the arm.
Was
is
she
one
stabbed,
thing,
like,
but
right
stabbed
here?
in the throat is a different
she was
thing.
stabbed. Okay, so now we're getting to it. She had defensive wounds
Yeah, that's
all
what-
over her arm.
She was trying to block the stab.
The jury did not see this. They seen the stab wound on the neck. They didn't see. If you Google Darlie Routier's injuries, this lady's arms were covered in bruises from top to bottom all over her body. She looked like she
I
got
don't think
beat.
she could do that herself.
She couldn't. If you go and I'm sure Nate will find these pictures and splice them in. She looked like she had been beat with a ball bat and stabbed repeatedly. The jury didn't get to see the photos.
You said she was choked?
She was choked.
Did she have marks?
She had marks all around her throat.
Well, how the hell did
How
I
you
not
go-
see that?
Yeah, how
Well,
How did
understand.
she not show that?
She did show it, and the police took pictures.
So
of
was
it.
she choked and then stabbed? Or how would that be?
Well,
Because
I
either
think
way,
the dude stabbed her and was choking her. It was just crazy.
Well, I
But-
wouldn't be able to stab myself and then proceed to choke myself after.
No.
I don't think I
Yeah.
can.
Well, here's the fuckery, okay? Darlie, what made them prosecute her is the silly string incident. And just Google Darlie Routier's silly string incident. So, 10 days after her children's death, one of the children's birthday was upon them. She was a grieving parent, So they go out to the graves with balloons, a cake, I guess other stuff. And they had silly string. And there was one little video of her spraying silly string and laughing and smiling and saying, "Happy birthday." And people said, look at her laughing and smiling after her children was murdered. She had to have done this. What was proven is that there was other video of her at the gravesite sobbing uncontrollably, and she left crying. But they took that little moment and they played it to the jury over and over, and they said, look,
You know,
this
how
was
much
her.
longer after was that?
Well, it was 10 days after the killing, but it was her son's birthday.
You can grieve for years.
You can grieve for years.
That's
but
crazy.
The first thing is people grieve differently, okay? A lot of you know that I lost a brother in a fire, and my mother, she was hysterical. I believe it destroyed her soul, him dying. There's other members of my family that I know love my brother, but they didn't react the same, but they were still grieving. You can't tell somebody how to grieve, okay? So, you know, again, back to YNW Melly, but look up the Darlie Routier case.
You said that was in the 90s?
In the 90s.
Hey, free that woman.
I
That was
believe-
probably at a time where fair trials weren't
Yeah.
enforced.
She's got a big movement right now. The Innocence Project just picked up her case, and when they get on a case, you
How
gotta
old
be.
is she?
Man, she's got to be over 50 now.
Well, let her out and pay her.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all I'm gonna say.
well, imagine how warped it is. Your children get murdered, then 10 days later, you're put in prison for it, and you didn't do it. That's just traumatic, you know. But Melly, I'm not convinced either way. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. But the way I feel is this. I would rather see 10 guilty people get off than one innocent person get sent to prison. I'm serious about that. Imagine being an innocent man minding your business. They arrest you, prosecute you, and send you to prison for life. I'd rather see 10 guilty people get away with it. And that's just how I feel. One thing I found really, really cool, really neat, and I think it's a sign of the times and technology. There's an 8-year-old girl, and this video is on Insta. I thought it was so adorable. She had been deaf her whole life. Okay, never heard a peep, never heard a sound, and they were able to make new devices, not just your run-of-the-mill hearing aid. Hearing aids have been around forever, but hearing aids didn't work to help, you know, completely deaf people be able to hear. They made a device to make this deaf young lady be able to hear her own voice for the first time.
What?
You know, I've seen videos like that, but for blind people.
Oh,
And
yeah.
glasses
colorblind people
with the glasses.
see
Oh,
colors
really?
for the first time.
Where blind people can see?
Yeah.
Well, and I see one where this guy was colorblind and they got these glasses. And he
Yeah.
started seeing
Ah,
colors.
sounds
and shit.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, and see, that's the good of technology. You know, this little girl, she made this face when she heard her voice for the first time, and could y'all imagine not being able to hear or see?
I wouldn't be able to live right.
No. I mean,
I
That
don't
was
know
that
how
Mr.
people
Beast
do
video,
that.
right? Where he cured all his
Yeah.
blind people. And they
Yeah.
hated on it. There was
Yeah.
a bunch of hate in the comments. Like, this guy helped these
He's
people.
doing it for the money. La
Yeah.
da 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 da. You know, I always hear that
Goofballs.
from Mr. Beast. Even though
look,
he's a great
man,
guy.
let me say this. Folks, listen to me. You praise doctors and police every day. They ain't doing it for free. They're still getting paid, okay? If you're doing good deeds that helps your fellow man, I don't give a fuck if you get paid or not. You're helping people, you know?
And out of all people, Mr. Beast.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
setting out 20 million trees and shit.
You know, he
That-
said he was broke at one point, like, because he just keeps putting all the money
Yeah,
back
Yeah,
into
he
this.
made a video about how he kept on giving out money.
Yeah.
Hey, I think it's cool, you know? Be careful though, my brother, because you can't, listen, let me be clear, I don't give on Mr. Beast level because I can't. I don't have what he has. I've given to the point where I've hurt myself financially in the past, you know, but it makes you feel good and it builds good karma and it helps people. I'll say this last thing. This little girl, bless her heart, got to hear again. Y'all know who Helen Keller was?
Yeah, blind and deaf woman.
Yeah, so Helen Keller, you know, blind and deaf. I try to think of what it would be like. And we're so used to having our senses. Imagine the world's dark and it's silent. I just don't know what you do there. Like, but she still lived a good life and she was able to function and her name went down in history. bless the heart of anybody deaf, blind, or dealing with a disability. I can imagine that it's a tough road and you're a strong soul. So it came out this week that The Simpsons, everybody knows The Simpsons, been running for years and years and years. And look, I remember when The Simpsons first episode came back in like fucking 1988. Yeah, they've been on the air for like 30 years. For that 30 years, we've seen Homer Simpson choke the shit out of Bart many a times. Why, you little? And he chokes it. Well, last week, this big uproar came out saying that Homer will no longer be choking Bart because the times have changed.
How the fuck is it sensitive?
Soft.
Soft.
Hey,
Soft as hell.
Family Guy's next, right?
Yeah.
Family Guy's next.
I mean, think about the fighting chicken. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, but look, so that's what they said. But then the creator or the co-creator of The Simpsons, James L. Brooks, came out and said, no, Homer gonna keep choking.
Let's
Bart.
go.
Let's
We're not
go.
putting up with that shit.
Let's go.
Cause come on, dude. I mean, are you serious? It's cartoon violence. We see Tom and Jerry beat each other and spray each other with flamethrowers. That don't mean somebody's gonna go mimic that.
But you got people filming real life crimes and not doing anything.
Yeah, and look, I'll say this. Back in the day, the argument that maybe cartoons would influence children, I may have taken that. I may have. But now, when I can go right now, tip my fingertips and watch somebody be skinned alive by the cartel, I don't think Homer Simpson choking Bart is a big worry.
Yeah.
I
You
can't
know.
believe it.
Come
And
on.
There's 6-year-olds on Call of Duty too. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's
that's
shooting.
way worse than the cartoon.
You remember back in the day, like, you had to have a parent by the game.
I had to do
Yeah.
that for
No,
GTA
yeah.
5, remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
8.
I mean, look, and you know
So I
now.
know it ain't y'all, it ain't your people doing that dumb
Hell
shit.
no.
It's people half the age that are mad as hell. I can't get out.
Look,
man.
I mean, we got to get to a point where we're realistic. When I can go on the internet and see people blown apart, just the shit I've seen on my fucking Instagram feed this week. Give me Homer choking Bart.
Cancel
Let me
the
watch.
WWE while we're at it.
Yeah,
If you don't
come
like
on.
people choking people, then just get the UFC, all of it. Get rid of all of it.
World's going soft, y'all. Real talk. This week in sports, I'm going to jump it off with first, and we're going to get to the NFL news, but my Ravens lost to the Browns. This is how bad it was. Listen, guys.
Defense couldn't stop him at all.
The Browns led for 0.00 minutes and 1 second that entire game. They only led
From that field goal.
from the field goal on the last
We
second.
can be choke artists whenever we lose.
Now, do you realize that all of our games that we lost this year, all three, we lost in the last 20 seconds? I don't
You know, there was a statistic, right? We trailed from only 28 minutes the entire season.
Yeah.
The second place was the Chiefs with 80 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way we should even have 3 losses, to be real with you. That's a weird statistic to be leading every game, never trailing, but somehow have 3 losses.
You know how dominant you have to be to
Yeah.
have that type of
Solid.
statistic? Yeah.
Did your Giants win this week?
I don't even want to talk about it. We played the Cowboys.
They,
Hey,
it was
I watched
49-17.
bits and pieces of that.
All I gotta say is we're rebuilding.
Cowboys.
That's first pick in the
Rebuilding.
draft material now.
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah.
like it.
You know, I look, I'm not even gonna hate on the Giants because they're always in the mix. They got
Daniel
the
Jones tore his ACL.
his career might be over.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. I mean, we gave him all that money and we didn't spend it on no line. I mean, that's what you get.
I
That's
think
what-
y'all need no line for sure.
Yeah,
I've
that's-
seen many a quarterback ruined by not having a good line.
our defense is solid. It's just our offense
You
doesn't
gotta have
to
something
score.
to throw to.
What's up with Saquon? Is he-
He's just well, we barely give him the ball. The ball just likes to pass.
Man, I remember the days
They gotta run.
where you guys had Pierce at linebacker. You had
Oh,
you had
JPP, that guy.
Yeah.
He was nice.
you had of course Eli. You had what's the guy that you said? Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz.
Victor
Nice,
Cruz.
too. We had Prime Odell.
Yeah, y'all had a squad back then, you know.
I remember watching that helmet catch back in the day by what's his name?
Yeah, because he came to us afterwards.
Yeah, he did. Tyree something.
Yep.
David
Tyree.
David Tyree.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
The helmet catch. That was one of the craziest catches
that
ever.
was legendary.
But yeah, the Giants will be back. Listen, but I want to talk about C.J. Stroud.
He's
Texans.
dog.
Man, who would have thought?
Hey, isn't he up for MVP now?
He
The
is.
last 2 games, he's
Best
had
rookie of the year
870
and
yards
MVP,
and
bro.
7 touchdowns. And he beat the Chiefs.
Well, listen. You remember that was our first game of the season, our Ravens, and we spanked them. And
He needed a few games, you know.
I said,
As a
when
rookie, he needs 4 or 5 games, then you will step up.
I wrongfully wrote him off when we played them. Afterwards, I said, well, the Texans wasted a first-round pick there, buddy. Man, this kid is looking like he's going to be something special.
I feel like the Texans are the biggest winners, quote unquote, this season.
They have a young core too.
Well,
If that makes sense.
yeah, they do. They got some weapons
They're
there.
just gonna get better.
But now let's say this. They do have a young core, but I don't think they were going to be in any kind of competition in the playoffs.
Now they're fine.
But this shows how good a quarterback can make you.
Yeah.
Look, the teams that are good in the league have good quarterbacks. The teams that ain't, don't. As simple as that. Name me a team that's been a real threat to win the Super Bowl the last 5 years that didn't have a good quarterback. I can't think of one. All of them have at least a good draft pick. Meanwhile, I want to go to another side, Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They always talk about how good this dude is. Where?
Yeah.
I mean,
He was selling out.
yeah, I just think he's a little bit overrated, and I think it's...
You know who's also 5-4? The Bills. But they have a top 5 defense and offense statistic.
And why are they so high on the power rankings?
Yeah, they're always...
I don't know.
That's
It's 5-4.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Somehow.
We're sitting here at 7-3, and the Bills are always like within 1 or 2 of us in the power rankings. They're 5-4. Josh Allen, I'm not going to take too much from him, but he does have Stephon Diggs.
He's been balling.
He's doing all right, but then why are they losing if he's playing good?
I'm not sure.
Joe
You
Burrow
remember,
doesn't
the
do
Chargers, they was first in offense, first in
Yeah.
defense, but it was their special teams that messed them up. They need to make the playoffs.
Got to be a complete team. You do. Now, I'll say this last thing. You take that. Here we got Joe Burrow and them. They're trying to turn on, although they did just lose. We got to play them on Thursday Night Football. Both teams coming off a loss. They do got to come to Baltimore, though. So,
This might be the biggest game of our season.
yeah, because we lose it, I think we're in trouble. You
Yeah.
know?
Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka just happened, and a lot of people are talking about the stoppage.
I seen that. I seen it. I don't think it was a bad stoppage.
I mean, I kind of do, but it just said you got to give it more time. You know, it was right after a takedown.
So,
It was right after a takedown.
I've seen it. You've seen it. I think we've all seen it. Was it kind of a quick stoppage? Yes. I don't think it was there's a difference in a quick stoppage and a bad stoppage. Okay? A quick stoppage is what we've seen. I think he was going to lose, personally. I think the ref got in just a little quick. A bad stoppage is where a motherfucker, it should have never even been thought about being stopped. So I think it was a quick stoppage. I don't think it was a bad
I
stoppage.
feel like Jerry was blacked out for a good second, but then he got right back up.
Right. And look, I've had times in fights. I remember I was in a boxing match when I was 17. This is at Erie Boxing Academy. Got clipped with a punch, and I was on my feet. And I was still defending. But my head went black. And I was whoop, 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 whoop. You know, you can be hurt and still look like you're defending. And I think he was severely hurt, personally.
And the difference between that and bad stoppage, I've had a fight, right? You know, I caught him with a right hook. I get the 8 count. That was my third 8 count, even though I wasn't hurt at all.
That was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
I'm not a sore loser, but
Right.
you remember it. It was
Oh
in
yeah,
North
the
Carolina.
USA.
Ref, what you
Listen. USA boxing. Middle finger to you.
Yeah, we
That's
did,
first
yeah.
of all. My son. Look, every father wants to root for their son. That's cool. I'm honest with my kids. I've watched all my kids fight. If I thought he was hurt, I don't want them to take punishment. I don't. I've watched this kid fight bare knuckle for 14 minutes straight, bloodied up. I've watched him fight grown men when he was 16. No. He gets hit by a kid who had no pop on his punches. Or am I wrong about that? Did the kid have pop?
It had sting, it wasn't pop though.
In other words, he was in no danger of going down, okay? You gotta let him fight. USA Boxing gave 3 standing 8 counts and waved the fight off in a matter of 15 seconds. It was ridiculous.
Wasn't everybody else there from Charlotte?
Yeah.
We were the only
He was
ones
from
from
Charlotte.
Virginia. So.
Yeah, we were the only ones from Virginia.
You remember that kid from Texas though? He looked like a dog.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just telling you, they singled us out. I think they knew we were from Street Beefs and they weren't gonna let us win.
So Crawford's no longer undisputed because they stripped away his IBF belt. He didn't do his mandatory defense because he fought Spence. So they gave it to Boots Ennis. Do you think he deserves it?
Boots, yeah. I think Boots deserves it, and I think he's a good representative of it. I think Crawford knew he was going to get stripped. I don't think he was surprised by it.
Yeah.
A lot of times they get contacted behind the scenes from the, the commission and say, look, you got to defend this
Do you
belt.
think he should fight? You think Spence should go down, try it?
I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah, me too.
I would. I think Boots wins it though. Look, Spence is great, but I think Crawford exposed him a little bit. I mean, that was not even a fight, fellas.
Not at all.
So, but I think Boots is a good representative, and I think that opens up the door to some new fights.
This first one puts us in Saratoga Springs, Utah, right? There was a guy, his name was Caleb Wood. He ordered Grubhub. It was Chick-fil-A. He ordered I think it was a sandwich, a side of some sort of milkshake, right?
Right.
The guy brings it, he's eating, goes to take a sip of the milkshake, and he said it tasted weird. It was urine. The guy that
What?
What is
So
with
basically,
this?
supposedly what had happened is the Grubhub employee was like, yo, I drive a lot, I don't take many bathroom breaks.
That don't even make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, so why did he do it in the
He mixed the cups up somehow and put the cup that he urinated
Wow.
in the thing and delivered it. And
Don't
the
they have
guy-
the cup sealed off when you
Bro,
order
I
Grubhub?
don't
Yeah,
ask me,
they do.
but either way, he took a sip of it and he was mad as hell.
So wait a minute. So did the employee get arrested? What happened?
Should've.
So basically, they Grubhub just came out with a statement and was like, yo, we took care of him. He's no longer with us.
They sound like they took a hit on him.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
basically,
We sent the Sicario.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know how they remedied it, because it just happened anyways, just recently, just like literally last week. So I don't know how they came up with a solution.
See, that's the one thing that scares me about eating out, eating food from other people, so on and so forth, is shit like that.
Yeah.
You just never know.
But they're
homie.
right though. The cups and stuff are supposed to be sealed.
Yeah.
Everything's supposed to be sealed, so there's no.
Well, it is, but it's up to you to check that.
Yeah,
Okay.
But you ain't
Right.
supposed to pee in them damn cups.
Well, no,
Yeah,
we're not
right.
excusing him.
Yeah.
We're just saying that the customer could have protected himself.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
could.
yeah.
By just double checking everything,
Man, I bet you I'll be checking mine from now on.
Oh, hell
It got
yeah.
me
That's
shook.
That's crazy. This one is in Baltimore. So this guy, he bought a new Audi. It was an RS7, I think it was. It was $120K, $120,000 car. So he went to stay in this hotel in Baltimore somewhere, and he gave it to a valet to park.
He stole it, didn't he?
He did. He ran off with the Audi.
I would've.
Took,
But it wasn't he wasn't a valet.
no, he was a valet.
And he just
Stole
took
it.
what?
I mean,
What had happened was, he said, so basically, the guy went to pick the car up, right? And they were like, yo, our valet stole it last night. That's what they told him. He didn't believe it at first,
I
but
mean, it's an RS7. I'd believe it.
supposedly what had happened was this guy came up with a bunch of different scenarios on why, like what had happened, because they found the car trashed. It was like destroyed.
What?
The doors didn't open
He
anymore.
ain't steal it and sell it?
They take parts out.
No, nothing like that. It was
Yeah,
just
you-
destroyed. It was just trash. There was a
Okay.
full gas can dumped in the inside of it, like they were about to set it on fire or something.
But okay, so it sounds like they were trying to destroy evidence.
What he said happened is that he took the car to a car meet after he got the keys from this dude, and that somebody had stole it while he was outside of the car and ran off with it. And then he said that they came up with this other one. He said, "While I was at this gas station, I drove it to Wawa, and when I went in, somebody had stolen it.
See, as a valet.
Either way, you stole it first,
Yeah,
dummy.
basically, he tried to put it off on somebody else, like they had. Because either way, you ran off and took somebody's car to a car meet. That's, I think, what really happened. He took it to a car meet.
Yeah.
I think the theme of the world swings back tonight is
is
you
this
just
dumb?
can't trust service.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, you can't.
You can't trust car
Well, that's
service,
Baltimore, you know.
food service. Well, hell, Utah ain't no better. They got you drinking piss out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, folks, I'll tell you like this. Sometimes the world does kick our ass. You see it swung back on those people. Gotta keep your dukes up. I hope y'all been enjoying the episodes. Give us feedback below. We're always striving to get better. Always trying to get, do better episodes, do better subjects, cover the stuff you want to hear. So give us your feedback below. I am thinking about bringing in a specific music section into the World Swings Back, or excuse me, Swing at the World. Each episode we're going to talk about just a little bit of music. Let me know what y'all think about that. Until next week, keep swinging. We'll see y'all soon.